moving on to the questions which are asked from the subject EOB in tertiary 7 for AM is from the topic ECG, EG, and EMG. It's 1 mark. So the question is conceptual questions of multiple choice. So for nuclear radiation measurements, a proportional counter has in comparison to a GM counter has. So basically, all these counters, proportional counter, GM counter, and ionization chamber are used to measure the particles of the ionizing radiations, which can be alpha, beta, gamma radiation, nuclear radiation. So it is given in the question, and it is evident that all these techniques are used to measure the particles of ionization chamber. So here basically you have an ionization chamber, something like this. So you can draw it here. So you have an ionization chamber. So here you have a cathode and anode, and you have here filled with your inert gas. So here you have your inert gas just filled. So here you have your amplification process to measure the count. So here whenever the alpha particles, the nuclear radiation is injected into the inlet gas, so you have the conduction being happening, and you have a appropriate electric current which is coming out here. You have a current that is flowing. So this is a general technique which is used in any of the counters, proportional counter and GM counter. So a proportional counter is a PM, I can write it as PC, is a combination of both GM counter and ionization chamber. So it uses and it operates at LS frequency, as operating voltage. So here the output characteristics of the instrument are very fast. So here you get something like this characteristics. So which is nothing but the applied output voltage. So this is the output voltage, and this is the time. So here you can see you have an instant output at t equal to 0 plus. So you have an output at every time. So there is no dead time in the system or lag in the system. You can see it clearly, and it has a higher count rate. So here it is very fast because it uses a hybrid technique, which is nothing but a combination of both the GM counter and an ionization chamber. So it is very fast. It has 0 dead count and relatively high count rate. So the higher count rate implies you can measure a small ionization which is getting happened inside the tube. So this is my ionization tube. So ionization tube. So higher count rate is good for any instrument, so that we can measure even the smallest current is getting ionized inside, and it has got 0 dead time. So you will get an instantaneous output at every time t. So here the correct option is A. So proportional counter in comparison to GM counter has a very lower dead time, and higher count rate. So which is the desired characteristics for any instrument. So hence the option is A.